my magic maker friends. This is Kristen Fagan, Kristen Fagan Art and Design, KristenFagan.com here. We're going to be talking about January's theme, discover. Discover, discover, discover. So we are going to talk about discover, and we're going to talk a little bit about our word of the year. I'm going to share some past word of the year art, intentional, visual projects that I've done. So you might want to have some paper and a pen or pencil to write down some notes, or you can always do that after the video too. One of the things I'm going to be talking about is this little worksheet I put together called the Word of the Year Inquiry, and you can find the PDF file in the group Discover Your Creative Magic in the Files section. Scroll down, it'll say Word of the Year Inquiry, and it'll have some questions for you to help you decipher what your word of the year for 2021 will be. So to get started, I want to get grounded and get here in the present moment. So I'm going to have you guys all just place your hands over your heart. Take some nice deep breaths. I like to breathe in and release anything that's happened before you arrived here. Breathe in again and just become present right to this moment as you breathe out. Breathe in one more time. Just relax in the here and the now. So before we move forward into 2021, I just want us all to take a moment and give our gratitude to some of the lessons or the good moments that happened in 2020. I know this is a year that collectively so many of us are ready to just put behind us, give this year the boot, and move on to a brand new year, a brand new start, and all the hope and good energy that comes with a new year. With all the heartache and loss and upheaval and difficult moments of 2020, there surely are some small things to be grateful for. There's always something to be grateful for. So just take a moment and see if there's one thing that you can bring up that you are grateful for this year before we close the book on it. You want to keep your eyes closed. I'm just going to do a very small little sound healing just to clear away that energy from 2020. And bring in some fresh new energy for 2021. Happy New Year, friends. Happy New Year. Love the energy. Yes, I'm here and I'm ready to bring in some good vibe energy, right? Shake it out. Shake out all of that 2020 energy and let's get some good vibes going for 2021. So, discover. So every day in our lives, we give our time and our energy to all sorts of things through our decisions. We join communities, we decide how we're going to spend our free time, we might pick up a new hobby, read certain books, and whether we're really acknowledging or not, we are making choices, and we're making choices about ourselves, what we value, what things we want to learn and grow in, and embrace discovery, embrace our own self-discovery. Whether you make those choices or those choices are made for you, there is something going on in your everyday that is creating your life and your reality. I love using art for self-discovery. It's definitely one of my favorite ways to connect with who I am, find my values, my morals, what things are important to me, and really get guidance from my higher self and my higher wisdom when I'm confused and stuck and just feeling kind of not grounded in this world. It takes patience, it takes awareness, and it doesn't really take a lot of time. It really just takes being aware and acknowledging that you get to make the decisions in your life. And I know that this last year we've had a lot of decisions taken away from us, and that is what made us feel really out of control, and a lot of angst, a lot of difficult things in that. But even within those choices being taken from us, we have choices in our everyday life of how we show up. And, you know, being a creative and living a creative life is saying yes to being aware of those choices and what our dreams are, what we desire, and discovering ourselves through small art practices is like so my jam. I created a post topic for the word discover in the group. So anything I share this month or anything you want to share that you come across that ties in with our theme discover, we can tag those posts and then we can all find them really easily. I'm excited about that. In addition, I also created an art for well-being post, and I'm gonna put any art practices like the soul scribbles and scribbling it out, the gratitude burst we did recently. I tagged all those in the art well-being topic so that you can always find those easily as well. So discover, discover, discover. So one of my favorite ways to really tap into self-discovery this time of year is choosing one sacred word. Instead of doing an intention for the new year, like a resolution thing, or creating goals, I do those things too, but when it comes to really thinking about my year as a whole, I love focusing on one sacred word, and then also pairing that word with a symbol, if it works. Most of the time it does though. So let's talk a little bit about our word of the year. You are my jam. You guys are my jam. I'm so excited about this year. I'm really excited to be doing this monthly theme idea because I want to show up in service to you more often and more regularly. And I think this is going to be a great way to create some structure and do that. So why choose a sacred word of the year? I'm just going to read a little bit from a workshop I did a few years back all about this. Choosing a word for the year is an act of kindness. One word that sums up what you want to create and how you would like to feel in your body and in your heart. One word deepens change. It relieves the pressure of having to make too many changes all at once and provides you with a laser focus on one significant change. You can't break a word like you can a resolution. I think that is really, I think that's really key, is that your word ebbs and flows with you throughout the year. It may show up differently than you expect it to when you choose that word. And it's going to be there to guide you regardless of what's going on. It's not a resolution you've made, a particular goal that you can break and then feel bad about. Your one word is sort of a guiding force, no matter what's going on. And the word you choose is there to inspire you whenever you need it. Your word is your ally. There are no rules to this word finding thing, and you cannot do this wrong. You can do some things like flipping through a magazine and see what words jump out at you. You can pull some oracle cards and see what words are coming up and if they really resonate. If you don't have any magazines, you can go online, go on like Pinterest, just see what's trending, what's going on, and see what jumps out at you, what things are garnering your attention, and be mindful of that. Now, in speaking with symbols, it's really nice to pair your word with a symbol, and a symbol can be an animal guide, it can be an ancient symbol, it can be maybe like my word for the year was love for 2020, so hearts would be a great symbol for it. I actually chose to go with roses as my symbol, so I painted roses along with those words, and it just kind of amplifies your word a little bit more. And maybe if you're uncomfortable writing and you don't want to write your word, a symbol might be something that is calling to you more. Maybe you want both. So some examples of things I've done in the past are, for 2020, one of the things I did is I created some jewelry and I hand stamped my word love on there. So that is one way you can create a visual art reminder of your word of the year, is doing some stamping in metal. You can do it in clay. Create a talisman or a piece of jewelry that you can wear to remind you of your word. You can do some collage. And so this is one of the, actually this one too. This video and this video are both in the playlist I shared in the group today. So this was just a collage of my word of the year was light. So some symbols that came up for me were feathers, light as a feather, shine your light, radiant light, like a diamond, a reflection, some lights up here. So this is another way you can create a visual representation of your word, is by doing collage. And all of us have a ton of boxes, I'm sure, from the holidays. So I do my collages a lot of time on some cardboard. This is when I don't want to keep it in my art journal and I want to actually put it somewhere up where I can see it. I just cut a piece of cardboard from a box and then I collage on top, and now I have a nice little visual reminder. I can put it at my desk or in my kitchen or just place somewhere where I can see it. You might decide you want to try and discover a new hobby or a new creative endeavor this year, and that's what happened when I picked this word. I had wanted to explore some wood burning, so I had done my word, which was, you're seeing it backwards, but it's nourish, and I decided to wood burn that one year because I was playing with a new tool and I just wanted to create a different way of showing that word. And of course, we've got to have a painting. So this year I painted my word. So I'm showing you guys all of these ideas to just help you see that you don't have to just paint or just draw. You can create jewelry, you could wood burn, you could collage, you could do sculpture, you could do clay, whatever medium is calling to you and feels juicy and good. So in this particular year, my word was transform, and I cut the letters out from a magazine and I put them on here like that. And then my symbol was a dragonfly. What's also fun about the symbols is that when you're out and about, you can look for dragonflies. You can find dragonfly cups and mugs or whatever it is when you've got a symbol or something that you can locate out in the world as sort of a reminder to bring you back to your word. So I like to put my art piece somewhere where I can see it, either in my studio, in my kitchen, somewhere where I'll notice it every day. And just want you to think about that as well. Where could you put it that you can amplify that energy and be reminded in a very subtle way of your word of the year throughout the year? So I talked about the word of the year inquiry, and you can find this in the group under the file section. It has all sorts of questions to kind of deepen your understanding of your word. This was funny because my word for 2020 on my paper here is not the word I ended up choosing. I ended up going with love, and that kind of just spoke to me and came to me on its own outside of doing the paperwork. I think I did this first. But for 2021, I am feeling this energy. So it's almost like 2020 was like, not yet. You did all this work. You've worked through these words that are great, but I think love is your word this year. And now for 2021, I'm going back to almost the same words I had in the beginning of 2020. Now is the time for that word to appear, which I think is kind of neat to realize, because I was already thinking about, okay, for me, the words flourish, bloom are coming up, and goddesses, that feminine energy, all of that kind of good stuff is coming up for me. And then I pulled these papers out before our video today, and I realized I wrote on here, flourish, bloom, thrive, expand, grow, blossom, rise. And I have spiral here for goddess, ancient goddess symbol, spiral for goddess energy. So interestingly, my words were not ready to come through last year, but this is exactly the energy I'm feeling for this year. So I'm going to work off these words again. Things to think about. Do you want an active word? Do you want a passive word? So for me, like the word light was a little more passive, but transform was an active word. I wanted to change. I wanted things to morph and grow. Nourish was an active word. I wanted to be healthy and really give my body and my mind nourishment that particular year. And then research the words you're thinking of. It's okay to have a couple at first. Usually I do. I usually have like 4 words that are kind of floating around as possibilities. And I love to deep dive into what they mean. So look up their definition, check out the thesaurus, check out some synonym words and see if there's anything there. And sometimes what you think the word means when you go look at the definition is not exactly what you were intending for the feeling. And so it's one reason why I like to have a couple words, do a little more deep diving into them, and see what they really mean, what their true definition is, and if that still resonates with me. And then also jot down what the word means for me so I can kind of compare what I think the energy of that word is. Yeah. I love this stuff. So I hope you guys are excited about diving into this kind of thing with me. Some of you may have your words already, and some of you might have your symbols already. This is kind of early for me. I tend to not be ready for it in January, but this year I'm totally ready for it. Let's see what I've got here. Angela, your totem animal visited you yesterday, and it is a pheasant. Awesome. Going to see what words are associated with that. Thanks for the inspiration. So what else do I have to share with you guys today? I wanted to read a meditation from the Earth Medicine book by Jamie Sams. So I'm going to do that. And then I also wanted to pick some oracle cards for those of you that are here live. And maybe we'll do a collective one for those of you that are going to watch a little bit later. Okay, so first we'll read Earth Medicine, Jamie Sams. This is a really interesting book. Ancestors' Ways of Harmony for Many Moons. I've had this for a few years. It's a perpetual book. It's almost like a perpetual calendar. So every day there is a new meditation or story or poem written by Jamie Sams based on Native American teachings. And it goes by the moon. So each section starts on the new moon, and then you have a message for the day. And so you just keep restarting it year after year after year. So this is our message for today, January 3rd, 2021. We're in the 12th moon. And this poem is called The Tame Human, and I thought it was very fitting for today. I read it before the video to see if it would make sense, and I thought it was quite fitting. So The Tame Human. The caveman had a knack for survival and the hunt, but behaving like animals, their women bore the brunt. Cro-Magnons changed the memory, carried in the blood, not the brain. Replacing the hairy Neanderthals, our bodies reflect all that remains. Now we face the tamed human, who through luxury has become a proclivity of the intellect, with the instinct growing numb. What happened to drive and passion? Did couch potatoes forget to feel? Have the tamed humans given away the wildness to become genteel? So this poem, she's got a little excerpt at the bottom that says, gives praise, the clan mother of the 12th moon cycle, reminds us that complacency keeps us from capturing the best of life that comes through aliveness and feeling. If we can't laugh at the tame, emotional fences we build to protect us from exploring life, we are in trouble. Every rite of passage in human evolution has brought us the victories and the setbacks. Have you been taming a part of yourself in order to fit in? So isn't that a great message for today and for the beginning of our month of Discover? What have you been taming? What desires and dreams have you not been allowing yourself to kind of jump in and explore? And how can you bring out that wildness again? Pretty cool. So thank you guys. That was really fun. I want you to think about your one word. And if you need some guidance or would like to check out the worksheet, go to the files section in the group. And there's a Word of the Year Inquiry PDF file that you can download and print. Or you can just look at the questions on the form and write them out longhand in your journal. If you don't want to print them out, either way is fine. And I will come back here. I think I'm going to do January 17th, so that'll be 2 weeks from now, and we're going to do an art project based on our Word of the Year together. I am curious I've done painting, I've done jewelry, I've done collage. You're welcome to do whatever speaks to you. So I'm curious what projects or art, visual intention you want to create with to create your word of the year. I likely will be painting mine, so that's what I'm gonna probably show up and do with you guys. And throughout this month, I want you to own your creativity and think about things that you can discover. What brings you joy? What things do you want to try? What new avenues of creativity do you want to explore and discover? Discover more about yourself by thinking about what do people love about you? What do friends and other people say about you that can give you your own insight. Maybe it's being a good listener, maybe it's dressing really cute, maybe it's being organized or cooking or things like that. All it takes is recognizing what things are your creative art in this world and your true form of expression. So I'd love for you to share anything that comes up for you around that. I'd love for you to share with me what type of medium you'd like to create your visual art word of the year in. And I'm gonna do, January 17th is when I plan to be back for a word of the year art prompt. So you don't know your word now, you have a couple of weeks to simmer on it, look for symbols, look for things that kind of jump out at you to get your attention, and then we'll work on an art prompt together on the 17th. And once more, if you come up with anything in your month that you think the group would really enjoy seeing, that relates to our theme discovery, by all means share it. If you're working on some new recipes, or if you're trying out some new jewelry, or you're creating with some new materials, that all fits under the theme of discover. And so feel free to share with the group, and let's create a really nice community to encourage one another to live our best creative lives in 2021. Love you all. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in a couple weeks.